Hey y'all, it's Ricky T. I'm coming to you from the Taylor Plantation here in beautiful Beech Grove, Indiana in mid-October. It's a mid-50s kind of day. You can hear the dog in the background because somebody's driving around. Today, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I thought I'd come to you today. Several people have told me how they enjoy and miss my food reviews. I'm going to get back to that. As I told you in my last video, trying to work on a few things. Insulin, cholesterol, not terrible, but I'm in my 50s now. I got to get that fixed. So I haven't been eating as much fast food, but I'm going to get something for you here soon. In the meantime, I haven't really done anything political. So today we're going to talk about the Hunter Biden factor. Okay, let's talk about Hunter Biden for a few minutes. Before we do, you know I love my cigars. Today, it's the CAO Brasilia, one of my favorites. You've seen me smoke it before if you've watched my videos. Great everyday cigar, great price. Love the cigar. We sit down for a moment, and I'm enjoying it with a little Bullet bourbon. All right, so there's been a lot of news lately about Hunter Biden, the son of Democrat presidential candidate Joe Biden. So there's certain things regarding Hunter that we want to concentrate on. There's certain things about Hunter Biden that they've been talking about in the news. From my perspective, we can just ignore. Okay, so we know he got kicked out of the military because he was addicted to drugs. We know, there's pictures circulating all over the internet of him with a crack pipe. We know he, at least at some point, had a tendency to frequent prostitutes, got one pregnant, and although he's super rich, he has just totally rejected child support. So we know Hunter Biden's a bad guy. We already know that. So all that stuff, don't worry about that stuff. Because that's just his personal stuff. He's not running for president. Don't care about that, okay? As it relates to Hunter Biden, what we really need to concentrate on and look further into is his shenanigans that directly involve his father, Joe. After all, Joe is the one running for president. So we know that Hunter has been able to get jobs with big companies in Ukraine and China, where he made huge amounts of money. I've heard anywhere from $50,000 to $83,000 a month to basically do nothing, and in return, these countries got some sort of preferential treatment from Joe Biden, who was the vice president of the United States at the time. These are the things we need to concentrate on. As you have been probably listening to the news, we've seen just within the last day or two, a meeting happened to talk about how how Hunter can do something to help Burisma, the big company in Ukraine, get influence with their father. We also have an email where Hunter basically stated that everything he made as a part of the deal that his dad cut for him so that he could make all this money to basically do nothing, that he had to give Joe half. So right there, at the very least, that's unethical. At the very least, that's unethical. So then, the next thing that we need to concentrate on now, and we need to see what comes out in the next several days, is if Joe Biden used his influence to get his son a job making a crap load of money, and his son was giving him half of it back, these companies or these countries wouldn't have agreed to that unless they were getting something in return. So that's what we got to concentrate on now. What is it that Joe Biden provided for Ukraine or these big Ukraine companies? What did Joe Biden provide to China or huge Chinese companies in return for his son getting these jobs where he did nothing and was getting 5-digit salaries per month? That's what we need to figure out next. Because what if these countries were getting a lot of money, that's our tax money go into basically enemies. China is like our biggest enemy. What if, in return for this job, Joe Biden was providing some sort of monetary gain to China, or China was getting a sweet trade deal, or we were overlooking some stuff, or whatever? That needs to be the next step. Not that Hunter Biden was smoking a crack pipe, not that Hunter Biden was out banging prostitutes. We don't care about that. He's not running for president. What was he doing that directly relates to his father, and what additional corruption was happening as a result of that? Then, in addition to that, kind of simultaneously, we need to be looking into the social media platforms who basically, as these stories have come out, as you know from this past week, Twitter, Facebook basically shut down the New York Post's site on their platforms, so that these stories couldn't circulate. So that is election interference. This is relevant information about one of the two major candidates that could uncover corruption that we the people need to know before we vote. And these major social media platforms are censoring it. They're not letting it come out. They're not letting it become widespread on their platforms. That's an issue. And really, not only is it an issue from a moral, ethical perspective, but these social media platforms are just that. They're a platform, okay? They are doing business as a platform. They consider themselves a platform, not a publisher, okay? If you're a platform, that basically means you're providing a platform for everybody. And if you're a platform, everybody has equal opportunity to put their information out there, to put out there basically whatever. As a platform, you do not have the ability legally to censor. You do not have the ability to pick and choose who can and cannot use your platform. Once you start doing that, you become a publisher. And once you're a publisher, there are certain laws that are much tighter and much different for a publisher as opposed to a platform. So if you want to do that, become a publisher and be subject to the laws, etc., of a publisher. I'm going to do a little more research on the difference between a platform and a publisher, and maybe I'll do a video on that so you guys know. But we really need to look at these social media platforms who are censoring information less than a month before an election. This is wrong, this is immoral, and it could possibly be fraudulent. So, again, as it relates to Hunter, don't worry about his personal issues. Only the things that specifically relate to his father and how his father was able to use his position as Vice President of the United States to give something to these countries. He had to have been given something to these countries, or they wouldn't have given his son a $50,000 a month job to not show up, right? So that and the social media folks, we need to look into them further and get to the bottom of it, okay? Because we all got the right to know, okay? That's what I got for you today. I would encourage everybody to try to find alternative media, because Biden had town hall the other night, Thursday night. I think it was Thursday night. Not a single question about Hunter or any of that. So the media is not going to ask the question. They're on his side. They're far left. They're the swamp, just like he's the swamp. So I would suggest commentators such as Dan Bongino, Bongino. You've got Shapiro. Bill O'Reilly actually has a podcast. You can go online and find alternate sources that will give you this information. Dan Bongino does a great job of laying out the information. He will provide you data to back up what he's saying. So I would encourage that. Check out other sources of media that's going to give you the news so you know. And in the meantime, the stuff Durham and Attorney General Barr have been investigating, all this stuff needs to come out in the next few weeks or it's moot. So that's what I got for you. Inform yourself, learn the information, and get to know what's going on. All right? That's it. It's Saturday. Y'all have a great weekend. And until next time, God bless America.